Here at the University of Rochester, our application process includes an opportunity for students to add an interview. That interview is something that can add an extra dimension and a different perspective on the student, who they are, what they're passionate about, and what kind of fit they would be with our community.
The interview process at the University of Rochester is an optional piece that adds to a student's application. So it provides us with the opportunity to get to know students on a slightly deeper level, to get an understanding of who they are as a person, what they're passionate about.
My interview with the University of Rochester took place in 2015. So I was a senior in high school, and it took place right after my first tour with the university. I had a really great conversation with someone who was an alum and also an admissions counselor. And I ended up being able to have a really, really great conversation about not just like my academic background, but about things I was passionate about, like theater and genetics and my favorite books.
Part of our admissions process is trying to get to understand each candidate better as an individual, recognizing and appreciating the value of admitting them to essentially all majors, from engineering to art history and everything in between.
When students sign up for an interview, they don't have to do much to prepare at all. We really just want them to come as themselves. We're not going to ask any quiz type questions that you really need to have some really sound answers for or be able to list off a number of facts. Just come prepared to talk about yourself.
Don't need to come in dressed up in a shirt and tie or a fancy power suit. Just be ready and willing to speak about the subject that you know best, which is you.
What I counsel students to do to prepare for an interview is talk to some folks that know you really well and that you've got a trusting relationship with. Ask them, what makes me interesting? Ultimately, we're trying to discern what would make you a really special piece of our complete class of entering students.
So as someone who's been on both sides of the interview process, the value of being able to do an interview is tremendous, because as an admissions counselor, when I get to read the notes from your interview, we're looking at who you are, what you're excited about, what you're passionate about, and how you see yourself bringing those aspirations and goals to Rochester, and how Rochester can help you achieve those things.
Rochester provides a number of different ways for students to add that interview. They can do so in person with one of our admissions counselors, sometimes even out on the road, meeting a student where they live. But we also have expanded our opportunities for students to interview virtually.
We also always make sure that there's plenty of time for the students to ask us questions about the university.
No matter who you interview with, we all have deep and immersive experiences here at the university, all in different ways. And to take that opportunity to maybe learn something from one of us.
Some students are fantastic writers, and their essay is going to communicate a whole lot about who they are. For other students, maybe writing isn't their forte, so the interview adds another opportunity for them to express some of their unique strengths and their fit with Rochester. Because we're looking to not just build a class of perfect students. In fact, we're looking for highly imperfect students who face some unique challenges, develop some unique strengths, and want to continue that growth and development as part of our community, embodying the university's motto, Meliora, growing ever better for themselves, for their community, and ultimately making an impact on the world.